My name is Keith Mays. I am an associate professor of African American and African Studies at the University of Minnesota. I should tell you something about my background. Born and raised in Harlem in the 1980s. I was a teenager in the 1980s, but I would walk around my community and see the burnt out buildings and the drugs, and didn't really understand as a teenager what that was all about or why it came to be that way. When I went to college, I was a pre-civil engineer major. But as a sophomore, I began to read books about African Americans. When I was supposed to be doing calculus homework, I was reading a history book, finding the answers to some of the community problems in books, in Black history books, and United States history books. And so it dawned on me after about 2 years of doing this that perhaps I should declare history as my major. I decided to pursue graduate school because I thought that I had something to say and I had something to contribute in terms of my understanding about Black issues. As a department, we deal with the global Black experience. It's not just about African Americans, but it's about, Black folks writ large. Continental African politics, Blacks in the diaspora, scattered outside of the African continent. When you begin to put all of this Blackness together, you begin to see that Black people are quite diverse. So this diversity around Blackness is something that our department is all about, and we want students to explore. What I'm teaching this upcoming spring is a course called Deconstructing the Welfare State, Social Policy in African Americans. And what I look at is movement outcomes. So once we stop talking about protests and demonstrations and organizations and various civil rights leaders, this course deals with the outcome of these social justice movements. In the spring, I teach courses in the civil rights and Black power movement, and that's all about movement activity from Rosa Parks, Ella Phillip Randolph, Martin Luther King, Black Power, talking about SNCC and Black Panther Party, Stokely Carmichael. These courses are really important because, and I always have students tell me at the end of the semester that this should be a required course for all students, because when they leave, they say, wow, I didn't know that the 1960s was so deep and rich in history. The implications of what people struggled for in the 60s, we still live with today. But that has everything to do with the movements, social justice movements. It has nothing to do with politicians rolling out of bed saying that they want to pass these laws. They're always fought for, and many people have to die to have others recognized. So the mere fact that we can have a conversation about LGBT rights or disability rights, that has everything to do with these movements. For me, teaching means much more to me than anything. I became a mentor to many students, and then they would asked me to be the faculty advisor of the Black Student Union or wanted me to be involved in this student activity or that. And so I spent a lot of time coaching not only undergraduate experience, but helped them lay the foundation for graduate school and some of the things they may want to do after the U of M. We'll have students who actually graduate for a while, not sure what they want to do, work for 2 years somewhere, and come back and apply to business school or to law school. There are students of mine that ended up in Washington, D.C. They've gone back to places where they were raised, like Chicago or Milwaukee, or they've stayed here. Sometimes students they don't see it. They want to be able to predict it and to see it manifest along the way, and oftentimes you can't do that. Don't worry about what can you do with an African American and African Studies major. Well, you can do the same thing with this major that you can do with others, and I always have to tell them it's going to work out okay.